Is it just me? Or do we sometimes have to spell it out for people? Like, don't abuse children. Don't kill people. Be protective. I don't know. So many things. Don't make prank calls to 911. It could literally cost someone their life. So here at Grizzly True Crime as a community, sometimes while we're watching trials or doing live streams or whatever it is we're doing, deep diving documents, looking at the maps, we realize there might be some value in saying it. Maybe some people literally weren't taught that. So if you didn't know, don't prank call 911. This is a good example. Let's have a look at this case. So Muskingum County, I hope I said it right, look, I've been practicing.
Muskingum.
Okay. Muskingum County Prosecutor's Office for immediate release. This was from Monday, July 15th of 2024. Zanesville woman pleads guilty, thank goodness, okay. She's just like, yeah, I'm pleading guilty, to serial 911 abuse. A Zanesville woman pleaded guilty to making hundreds of calls to emergency services, effectively using local first responders for her personal entertainment, for ambulance rides to the hospital. Really get a hobby, lady. Really, what is this? This is not funny. This is terrible. This is a crime. That's why she pleaded guilty. So let's keep going. Kesha S. Kennedy, age 34, a grown-ass woman. Okay, anyone doing this would be terrible. But like if it was a teenager, you'd be like, okay, don't do that. If someone didn't teach you, don't do that. 34-year-old woman of Zanesville appeared in Muskingum County Court of Common Pleas on July 12th, entering a guilty plea before Judge Mark C. Flegel. That's a cool name. Judge Mark C. Flegel. Okay. Kennedy pleaded guilty to felony disrupting public services, felony making false alarms, and 25 counts of misdemeanor misuse of 911 systems. Kennedy will be sentenced at a later date. Beginning in 2020, Kennedy called 911 almost 400 times, complaining of various illnesses. The South Zanesville Fire Department, SZFD, handled the responses and became strained by her improper and frequent use of emergency resources. And of course, they can't legally just ignore her. Maybe something is wrong. The one time she calls out of 400 times, how do they know? My goodness. So, ambulances and first responders transporting Kennedy for non-existent emergencies were unavailable to service those experiencing actual emergencies. I mean, did she not realize that? Does she think that they're just bored? That they don't have enough to do? Because they sure do. Like, what is this? For example, SZFD responders were unable to respond to a call involving a person unable to breathe because they were transporting Kennedy for a fake call. The person with breathing trouble later died. My goodness. In another case, SZFD was understaffed for a fire due to personnel attending to Kennedy. Now, the person with the breathing trouble that unfortunately died, man, I hope their family sues the pants off this woman, right? Because they clearly know who it is. Kennedy called 911 multiple times every week, sometimes calling for first responders several times on a single day. At Genesis Hospital, Kennedy was repeatedly informed that she had no medical issues or emergencies. However, the hospital was forced to triage her every time she arrived. The taxpayers funded each transport and visit through Medicaid. Oh man, that is infuriating. Taxpayers funded each transport and visit through Medicaid? Before her plea, Kennedy was evaluated by a forensic pathologist. Muskingum County Assistant Prosecutor John Little, I assume is how you say that, not like Lytle, it's just one T, but John Little, who handled the case, stated in court that she demonstrated a factitious disorder, which means she's a liar. I like how they just break that down, which means she's a liar. In addition to her misuse of the Muskingum County 911 service, Kennedy has a history of squandering the emergency resources of other counties too. She has behaved in the same way in Licking, Guernsey, Franklin, and, that one's difficult to say. Let's try. Cuyahoga counties. In 2023, Kennedy was charged with and found guilty of misusing the 911 system in, I'm guessing it's Licking County, not Licking County. Newark Police Department officers had previously warned Kennedy on several occasions that subsequent non-emergency calls to 911 would result in her arrest. On August 23rd of 2023, law enforcement officers responded to a report of a behavioral emergency at Licking Memorial Hospital involving Kennedy. Officers questioned Kennedy, and she pretended that she was suddenly unable to stand or walk. After being helped into a sitting position on a bench, Kennedy pretended to be unconscious. She then pretended to wake up and told officers that she didn't understand the meaning of being read her rights because she was disabled. As in Muskingum County, New York law enforcement spoke with doctors at the hospital who confirmed that Kennedy was not disabled and did not need medical treatment or transfer to another hospital. Muskingum County Assistant Prosecutor John Little says better tracking of nuisance non-emergency calls to 911 would prevent abuses of the system like those committed by Kennedy. But how do they know? Especially if someone is pretty good at faking it like this. I mean, I don't even know what the solution would be. I hope they find one. But I just actually hope that people don't do this. Don't do it. It's not fun and games. It could cost someone their life. If this is how you attention seek, find something else to do, right? Surely. Obviously, some type of check or balance needs to exist so that this type of abuse is more quickly reported by EMS to law enforcement, because 350 pointless ambulance runs is absolutely ridiculous, Little said. I was absolutely shocked when this case was brought to my attention by South Zanesville Police Chief Mark Ross. We reached out to the sheriff's office for an investigation, and Detective Richard Perry was able to quickly lock down a case and get this abuse stopped. Thank goodness, because imagine if they hadn't arrested her. And if she didn't plead guilty, then would she go to trial for this? Can you imagine the theatrics of that? Thankfully, as I say, she pleaded guilty. But also, imagine if she was just still out there making calls every day. That is terrible. So let's quickly have a look at the definition of this factitious disorder. It is a serious mental disorder in which someone deceives others by appearing sick, by purposely getting sick, or by self-injury. Factitious disorder can also happen when family members or caregivers falsely present others, such as children, as being ill, injured, or impaired. Factitious disorder symptoms can range from mild, slight exaggeration of symptoms, to severe, previously called Munchausen syndrome. You might think of Gypsy Rose when you hear that. That was by proxy. Okay, the person may make up symptoms or even tamper with medical tests to convince others that treatment such as high-risk surgery is needed. Factitious disorder is not the same as inventing medical problems for practical benefits such as getting out of work or winning a lawsuit. Although people with factitious disorder know they are causing their symptoms or illnesses, they may not understand the reasons for their behaviors or recognize themselves as having a problem. Factitious disorder is challenging to identify and hard to treat. However, medical and psychiatric help are critical for preventing serious injury and even death caused by the self-harm typical of this disorder. I hope she gets the help that she needs while she's going to be in prison. I'm not sure. What do you think she will? I really hope so. I also wanted to show you her rap sheet here, and I'll zoom into a mugshot as well so that you can see that. But here I found this, which says inmate detail Kesha Sue Kennedy. And you could see their date of birth and 5'3", Zanesville Kennedy. All right. Wait, sorry, I have to make it wider. There we go. Now we can see everything, right? Booking date says 4/4/2024, Muskingum County Jail. She's got a bond of $250,000. Total bail amount is 0. And let's see what else she's got here. So at the bottom here, you can see, let me actually just move this up. Let's start at the bottom here. Misuse of 911 system, purpose other than emergency services, making false alarms, disrupting public service using computer-related device, and misuse of 911 system, purpose other than emergency service. So you can see all of those, but as we know, she already started doing this in 2020, and she's done it in other counties. Could they maybe put those together or what? I wonder how long she'll serve. How much time will she serve for this once she's sentenced? We'll have to see. Here we can see her mugshot. Okay, it's mugshot time, which is very different to the picture if you look here. I mean, totally different look. All right, this is her there. This is the docket that I found. Okay. I mean, barely looks like the same person, but all right. There it is. So, yes, let this be an example of what never to do. Okay? So, never call 911 or whichever emergency service number you use. I live in Switzerland, so it's a different number here. It's 112 and 117. For you guys in the USA, it's 911. I think we all have different emergency numbers worldwide, right? But don't abuse the system. It's literally for emergencies. How would you like it? I know I'm really like preaching to the choir here. But how would someone like that like it if they really were suffering an emergency or a loved one was? I mean, it's just terrible. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching this very quick Grizzly Express episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share, not because you enjoy the topic, but because you like the way that I present true crime. Share it so that others who need it spelled out for them know it, okay? Maybe they can teach others. Don't do that, okay? Sometimes there's really value in just saying it. Don't make prank calls to 911. Even for kids, for teens, if you think it's funny, it's not funny, and explain to them why. It's because you're literally draining emergency resources and it could cost someone else their life. And there's nothing funny about that. It's terrible. Never do that. Okay, so thank you so much. I'll see you again in the next one. Stay safe.